The baby's over there playing, so if you hear him, that's what he's doing. He's just playing in his high chair with some of his toys. In this video, I just wanted to share some of my must-haves that I use when it comes to exclusively pumping and what I've been using for the last 5 months. So the number one thing, obviously, you need a pump. This is the pump that I use. It's a Spectra. I don't know if you can see. It's a Spectra S1, so it's the blue one. And then the S2 is the pink one. The only difference between them is that this one is portable. It has a portable battery, so you can move it around with you. And then with the S2, you have to stay plugged in while you're pumping. I like the S1 because you can be doing it in your bed. If the cord doesn't reach with the S2 or something, you can just be in bed or wherever the baby is. It is easier in my opinion. I love the Spectra. It's the only pump that I've really used besides a handheld one, and I use the Mom Cozy one. I was using the Mom Cozies in the beginning, but then I was having a lot of issues with them. I would only use them like 2 to 3 times a day, like when I was making dinner or doing stuff, so I could pump while I was getting things done. But I noticed that they did leak a lot. I read and saw videos about them that you need to make sure that everything's really tightly attached to each other, but I always try to make sure that they were. I just had a lot of issues with the leaking, or I wasn't getting enough milk out, or I couldn't line up the hole properly with my nipple. It was just, there were so many issues with it that I would rather just use a Spectra for 20 minutes and get way more milk out. And then the main reason why I stopped using them is because one of them just stopped working. It wasn't suctioning, so no milk was coming out. It wasn't even like making the suction at all. I think some milk spilled on it when it was leaking, but I don't know what happened with it. It was like, they were like $100 for both, so it wasn't too bad, but I didn't even use them that much. So I personally don't recommend them, but I know a lot of people who have them and they do like them. I like the concept of them because you're able to walk around and do things, but for me, they didn't work out. So I've just been using the Spectra S1, which I highly recommend. And the next pump that I have is this handheld pump. I'll have everything linked down below. I got everything from Amazon. But with this one, you just pull this down. And I've noticed that I get the most milk when I go like this. Like I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I hold it. And then it helps with the letdown, and you get a lot more milk in a much quicker time like that. I only really use this when I'm on the go, like in the car or something, and I just need to relieve some of that pressure. I'll use this real quick, but it actually does get a lot of milk out. I just prefer this Spectra S1, but if I'm not at home, I'll use this one because I keep it in my diaper bag. So whenever I'm not home and I don't have that one, I can just use this. Next, I recommend having extra parts to your pump. So these are just these things, the duck bills and the covers that you put on the pump. That way when you're washing them, you have an extra set and you're not like in such a rush, stressed out trying to wash everything. I like to put them in the dishwasher, so sometimes when they're in the dishwasher, I just have an extra pair to use. And then I also recommend having an extra set of the flanges, so for the same reason, whenever you're washing them, you have an extra set. Something that I do when it comes to my pump parts, I think it's called the fridge hack, but throughout the day you just pump and then you put like these with the parts and you just put it in the fridge in a Ziploc baggie, and then you can use it all day, and then you just have to wash them at night, which saves you so much time because in the beginning I was washing them after every single pump, and that's when I was pumping like every 2 to 3 hours, so it was such a waste of time. If you wanted to, you could wash them like halfway through the day if you didn't want to wait all day, but I think it saves so much time and it makes it a lot easier on you. And then the next thing I recommend is these storage containers. I pump directly into these, and then I'll either fill up bottles with them or put it into the bags, or I'll just leave them like this and I'll put the cover on and put them in the fridge. I put them in the bottles for like the first part of the day just so he has bottles ready for the day, and then like starting around 3 o'clock, I'll just leave it in here, so if he needs extra milk for the rest of the day, I can just pour it into a bottle. But yeah, these are really nice. They also have the smaller ones that come with the Spectra, but I like these ones because they hold 10 ounces in each one, and then the Spectra only does like 5 to 6. And since I do have an oversupply, I pump about 10 ounces on each side, or at least more than 5 to 6. So these work a lot better for me. Next thing that I recommend, this is kind of like, you obviously need them, but are the breast milk storage bags. I use these when I'm freezing milk, or when I'm taking milk on the go, I'll just bring a baggie with me so I can have milk for him. so I can have milk for him and I can put them in the cooler and just pour the milk in. But I haven't had any issues with these. They haven't leaked or anything like that for me, but I haven't used my frozen milk yet, and I know some people say that milk will leak when you defrost the milk, so I don't know about that yet, but so far I haven't had any issues with them. And the last thing is a hands-free pumping bra. Hopefully this one doesn't have any milk on it, I don't know, but this is the pumping bra, and then it just opens up like this. You put this through here and then just connects to the pump that way. So this is kind of, I guess I'll show you what it looks like. You just put the bottle on like this, and then you have the end part right here, the valves or whatever they're called, the protector, I don't know what it's called, and then you put this through here, and then you just connect this into the circle thing, and then you have it like this. So it's nice because you have the bra on and then your hands free. You don't have to hold this or anything. Whereas if you don't have this bra, you would have to be sitting there holding them like this the whole time, so you don't have your hands. So I definitely recommend using a hands-free bra, so you're not just like sitting there for like 20 to 25 minutes. That is what I did in the beginning. Not only did I do that without a hands-free bra, sitting like this, I only did one boob at a time because I couldn't figure out how to get both of these things to pump. So I would literally sit here for 20 minutes on the side and then switch on 20 minutes on the side, and it was so stupid. So I highly recommend getting a hands-free bra and making sure you pump both sides at the same time. I don't know why I was doing that. I wasted so much time. But yeah, this is like my #1 thing besides the pump, is a hands-free bra, so you're not sitting there like this for a half hour. So those are all of the things that I use basically every day when it comes to exclusively pumping. I'm going to do another video on my tips when it comes to exclusively pumping. So if you like this video and like to see that one as well, make sure to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below what are some of your must-haves when it comes to pumping or breastfeeding.